Hey guys, Emmanuel, your body code practitioner here. I just want to do a really quick video today in regards to a big announcement that I have, and a lot of you guys have followed me for a while. For those of you who don't know, I'm an energy healer using the emotion code and body code and been doing work for 3 years, almost 3.5 years now. And there's just something that I've always had in my mind, kind of an end goal that I've had in regards to this type of work. And it all stemmed from my mother and my father, who they're very successful oncologists and did very well in the oncology and hematology realm. My father owned his own practice, still owns his own practice, actually in Linwood area. He works with majority with Hispanics who have cancer in that area. And then my mother used to work at Kaiser Permanente in Harbor City. They both came from Lima, Peru, and they got married and they came to America. So technically I'm the first American in the generational family here. And so, and I grew up in Santa Monica, that's where I was born. And then I lived in Torrance Beach, Redondo Beach, around that area. And one of the things that I've learned from my mother, who passed away in 2011, is that she said she wished she could have spent more time with me. And I remember that was around the time where she had pancreatic cancer, and she was just admitting to me some of the things that she wished she would have, things like that. I also kind of recalled her saying that she wished she could have done something more, or she didn't feel like she was good enough, which I remember later on it really bothered me that she would say something like that, because she was just doing very well in so many areas of her life, and for her to say that kind of shocked me. But then again, I'm studying the emotion code and body code, and I realized that there was some trauma that came from her grandma about, you know, her grandma always saying my grandma always saying she wasn't good enough. And so it made sense that there's some type of energetic trauma that stayed with her and perhaps even affected her body, maybe even her pancreas, in regards to that. And so that kind of like looking at my mother's sickness and her disease that she had, it really I started thinking, like, you know, what could I have done to help her out? And one of the major things to kind of hold honor and hold legacy to her would be what she said, which was, I wish I would have spent more time with you. And so I've helped a lot of clients out in regards to increasing their love situation, increasing their wealth, and many different things like that. And I want to make a big shift for myself, because I kind of want to not be the lid to my clients. I want to keep, if I'm talking about abundance, I want to be abundant. If I'm talking about love, then I need to be a person who walks the walk and has love in their life. You see, so it's kind of, you know, I don't want to be a hypocrite. There's so many life coaches, so many people out there that they can't scratch two pennies together, but they're talking about how I can help you become wealthy. And obviously there is a, you know, you got to start somewhere. So I'm not kind of dogging on those people, but again, I want to create an environment for myself where everything that I'm talking about is because I'm doing it myself. And in this case, one of the major dreams that I've had is to be able to be a stay-at-home father. My son Hayden actually goes home to school, or goes to school, then comes home at 12. And, you know, it's kind of funny, little by little, I started kind of hearing things that kind of reminded me of what my mother was saying, was that I'd come down for lunchtime between 12 to 2, and then he would say, hey, are you done working? You know, it's like, and then I was like, no, I'm not done yet. You know, and he says, okay, when are you done? So then I said, okay, so this is kind of a tough situation where I'm at home, but then I see him, and then he reminds me, like, how I wish I could spend more time with him. So then, and I made a little change a couple months ago. Some of you guys heard about it. Where on Friday, I did a change where I wasn't going to like really work on Friday afternoon, and then the whole weekend was off. But one of the things I said, you know what? I don't mind waking up early. I'm kind of an early bird. I love waking up at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. It's just, for me, my mind is very productive at that time. So what I'm going to do, and this is my big shift here, just to kind of honor my mother and her passing away, her dream that she wanted, I'm going to live it, because that's what she would want. And just knowing that I'm a first-generation American entrepreneur, stay-at-home father, I'm actually breaking a lot of mold here, because, you know, I'm doing a lot of things that my family never did before. And I think that's kind of what should be our goal, is like always grafting and improving our family tree. And so this is the year, actually starting just yesterday, I actually changed my schedule where I'm working from 6 a.m. to 12, and then at 12 o'clock I stop working. So as soon as my son comes home, there will be a day probably next month where he's gonna say, hey Dad, are you still working? I said, no, I'm done working. And I'm gonna keep saying that till he gets used to the fact that I'm always gonna be there for him. And so it's a huge, huge shift. I know those of you who are my friends and family know that I've gone through a journey the last 3 years in regards to energy healing, helping people out. But at the end of the day, is the healer being healed? And I've done more work on myself probably in the last year because I know that I deserve to get healed. I also deserve to remove emotional baggage. I also deserve to have an abundant life in every aspect of my life. And I want to lead by example. So hopefully there might be some clients that might get upset and say, hey, I only have afternoon times. Then make the sacrifice to wake up earlier. Some of you guys in different countries might do email sessions with me. For those of you guys who don't know what that is, it's when you want to do a session online and you still get the healing. Kind of an amazing thing. So I work with some top CEOs, top business people that they can't meet with me. So then I do an email session. They just text me what they want me to work on and I work on them and they're not even present and I do the healing. And so that's going to still be available. So just letting you guys know, if you start seeing a change where I'm only working from 6 to 12 is because I'm honoring my mother's last request, which is, I wish I would have spent more time with you, and I'm not going to neglect that. And I'm going to take the horse by the rein, and I'm going to say, look, I'm going to do everything that you guys wanted to do. I'm going to do it in my life. So hopefully this inspires you that what if it took you a year, 2 years, and for my case, 3.5 years to get to the point where you're doing financially well, you're doing what you love to do, you find your mission, you're blossoming your relationship as much as you can. What if it took you 3.5 years to get all those areas in order? Would it be worth it? Would you invest in yourself? And my answer to myself is yes, and hopefully it is for you. So hopefully you enjoy this message. Hopefully this inspires you. For those of you who have a job or you're working out there, much kudos to you because you're sacrificing for your children. In fact, I even read a book recently on the giving tree to kids, and I remember talking about if this was like, I remember talking to the teacher, I said, if this is a relationship between a man and a woman, it kind of sounds like a narcissist and and an empath, that whole blog that's very popular out there. But if it was a mother and a daughter, or a father and a son, or a father and a daughter, parent relationship, it is a very true thing of us kind of like sacrificing what we have so we can have, that they can have more. And the question is like, the average American spends what, 10 minutes with their kids? That's what statistics say. The average American spends 10 minutes with their children. But look, their children are being bombarded with YouTube. They're bombarded by friends that probably don't have the best influence. So many different things. And what about our influence? What if we really want to leave a legacy? We need to spend time with them. As we've probably heard that quote before, where love is spelled T-I-M-E. And so I want to really embody that. And so hopefully you guys wish me well in my journey. And again, I'm going to continue doing what I do, but I'm going to do it on my terms, where I'm going to learn from my generational family tree. And I'm going to make things happen that they've never done before, because our family deserves that. And hopefully this inspires you to take some new action. Maybe you need to start a new business or start a new project or create a new asset, do something, tag someone that has a lot of potential and that maybe hasn't reached it yet. Maybe this story inspires them. So with that, I love you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoy this message of just kind of this announcement that I'm telling all my Facebook friends, my Facebook family, and we'll be in touch soon. Take care. Bye-bye.